Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another GSL qualifier match. Today we have America's Hope, the man, the myth, the legend. It is Astrea playing for Team Maturino here in the bottom right. And in the top left, it's going to be Onside's Ryung. Yeah, Onside's Ryung. Not a player that a lot of people perhaps would expect to see in the winner finals of a GSL qualifier. Yeah, it is. I'm kind of surprised as well, but it indeed happened. Astrea managed to beat out Dark earlier already in his bracket, and now we'll be playing against Ryung for that spot in the GSL. Of course, if Ryung does end up losing this particular series, doesn't mean he's out. There's still 2 more chances that he has, which have been played already. I have actually not paid attention to who has qualified for the GSL yet, so it's pretty fun for me to watch all of these games as well. You know, I didn't want to spoil myself while watching these games, so I'm gonna be having a good old time over here. Reaper first coming out of Ryung, showing that he's either confident in the matchup or he just likes playing standard. One of the two. A lot of Terrans, though, at the moment are playing just this very standard Terran versus Protoss. Reaper first into a factory, single mine drop, 1 car, and that's pretty much it. And it's so difficult for Protoss players to A, get scouting information across the map. It's freaking hard, all right? It is actually quite difficult. And 2, it is also really difficult for Protoss to get ahead in the early game, it often feels like. They can get behind in the early game, but getting ahead, that is a whole different story, as this probe was hiding. I'm not quite sure why, but it ain't there no more. Okay, this adept is actually gonna go across the map. This probe will die as a result. It's gonna get a little bit of scouting information here with this bad boy. It's very rare to see the first adept send across the map like this if there is a Reaper out, but Astrea does believe that he has a chance here, as there's a fly bothering me. If you hear any buzzing noises, it's nothing but just this fly is flying around my head. It's literally about as annoying as this adept right now is for Ryung. Ryung has, of course, killed this one probe, so it's a little bit of damage, has lost 1 worker, and got his own orbital command delayed just a tiny tad. Second gateway coming down, followed up by a sentry here, so very quick blink into a sentry. It's going to allow Astrea to get that scout that he so desperately needs, and probably is going to skip the robotics facility as a result. Well, what are you doing here, buddy? What you doing? You can't... Surely he knew that was a full wall, right? Like, this is literally how every Protoss and their sister walls on this map. There's no way Ryung was not aware that was a wall. I'm not quite sure why he wanted to go up there once more. That was interesting. Didn't trust it. I was like, it doesn't look like solid architecture to me. That's no solid construction. Third base gets constructed pre-third pylon. Was that pre-third pylon? Was pre-third pylon. That's a big deal. That's a very fast third base. You have a bunch of units out. Adept will end up falling here. 1 adept, 1 probe have gone down. 3 mine drop. Do we call this risky? Yes, this is risky. Now, why is this risky? The reason why this is risky is because Ryung did not get the information that this was a Twilight Council. Triple mine drop is completely fine against the Twilight Council opener, but if you open triple mine and your opponent opens with a Stargate, is saving up Phoenixes at home, that can actually be a very bad start for the Terran player. So Ryung must have gotten info somehow, I'm not quite sure how, or he just gambled and got kind of lucky, to be honest, because a triple mine drop is really quite powerful against blink openers. You can keep them in the dead space, you can send them out across the map, you can literally do whatever the heck you want with it. It's just going to be very difficult here for Protoss to deal with. Now, there is a robotics facility with this. I thought that after seeing that sentry, that Astrea perhaps was going to play a lower gas style, skip the robo for a bit, and maybe get a quick forge. Mine's dealing so much damage. That was, what, 7 kills here, forcing 2 mineral lines to move away. And worst of all is that 2 mines are going to survive. We'll move here towards the bottom side. That means that 3 stalkers will need to be put in position to deal with this. 2 is not going to be enough to properly stop this. So something to keep in mind for Astrea as he now starts moving out across the map. But this game looks really, really bad for him, as Ryung took a little bit of a gamble with that triple mine drop. It paid off. I'm honestly a little bit shocked to see this particular gamble on this map, because this is such a Stargate map. But maybe Ryung knows something about Astrea style that I don't. Ooh, that observer definitely got spotted there by the Raven, but Ryung was not paying attention, and as a result, he's going to lose a couple of Marines to these Stalkers, and doesn't even get an Observer kill for it. It's kind of unfortunate there for him. Nice little move out of Astrea though. Both players floating a decent chunk of money. It's not that weird for toss because they often need to wait for the follow-up gateways to, you know, get those warp-ins going. But seeing this much cash for a Terran, look at this. He just built a CC and is still floating 600 minerals and freaking 300 gas. That is insane, no? That is a crazy amount of money to be floating. Okay, has managed to spend most of it at this point as 2 more depots are on the way as well. Small cut here in SCVs for Ryung for whatever reason. As Astrea has kind of stabilized here on a decent unit count. Is lacking infrastructure for now, but is getting quick Colossi out. Raven, of course, with full energy, could potentially get 2 interference matrices, and that would really help in a fight against those Colossi. Now, the supplies are close, but this is kind of deceiving because a lot of money right now is being invested into extra gateways. So that means if Ryung can hit before those gateways become active, he should still be somewhat fine. But because right now there's so much money that isn't working for Astrea quite yet, right? 7 minutes and 10 seconds is the first time that these 4 gateways are gonna get a warp in or have the ability to get a warp in. There's also a prism on the way already after 2 Colossi. This is almost starting to feel like Astrea wants to go for a Colossi timing with a couple of Zealots as well. Well, a couple of Zealots. A crap ton of Zealots in there perhaps. 4 Stalkers on the left side do manage to kind of control the pace of this move out. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's 3 Stalkers you don't want to lose right now, buddy. That is 3 Stalkers you definitely don't want to lose. 64 workers are out here for our American Protoss. Thermal Lance. Over halfway done. Don't forget, Raven still has 2 interference matrices right in there in his inventory. Just waiting, waiting to throw it out there. Energy is available. How is this stupid observer not dying yet, by the way? There we go. No, you can't be serious. That is pretty big, actually. Like, not getting the observer. Okay, here we go. Vikings do help out here. Very little vision, though, for Ryung, who, honestly, it felt like he was in a very good spot, but now, maybe not so much. This is a 0-0 army, though, out of Astrea, and it is fairly all in as well. Meanwhile, Ryung, oh, actually, big Zealot warping in the main. Don't hold that thought. As a bunch of SCVs are going to get taken out. Sadly, I can't have the counters on the right side because this is not hosted with the correct mod. Oh my god, this is world's worst unsiege. Or perhaps it's fine. No, it wasn't. He got really lucky there that Astrea did not commit to that at all. eBay is burning. That would really help Astrea here because that might delay the upgrades of Ryung by just a tiny tad. He really wants to take it out as another Zealot goes for it. But I do believe the eBay is going to end up surviving as long as SCVs will be sent over to repair. And I think that Ryung right now only has 1 real chance remaining. And that is going to be sending stuff across the map. Just his entire army. You have 4 or 5 tanks. You have a bunch of Vikings. Colossi should not be so good. Raven is still available as well. I love these Zealot run-bys. Basically saying, hey, if you're attacking me, you better come at me fast. You know, because if you're not coming at me fast, you're going to lose a lot of workers here. Rocks are being attacked by Ryung. The most common location to attack is this left side here on Babylon, or even towards these rocks. I've never really seen this particular move out pattern that Ryung is using here. With the Vikings and tanks for backup, this actually is starting to, I don't want to say look okay, but it's starting to look pretty scary here. Wait, what? Did Ryung only get +2 armor and he forgot his attack upgrade? What? I thought he already had an attack upgrade. Oh, that's not good. What a mistake that is. Huh. Oh, wow. Staking out any potential flanks here. Now, this is actually a really powerful siege up as well. Don't forget, still 0-0 out of Astrea. These Zealots will die quickly. This Colossi will have a difficult time moving in here as well. And we're seeing some small leapfrogs here coming in. Now, of course, Disruptor should be capable of doing something. I'd love to see another big Zealot run by being sent out. Not necessarily for a flank, but just to clear any potential reinforcements. I think would be such a powerful play here. Disruptor is going to connect with one of these tanks as Ryung decides to engage into this. 2 Disruptors shoot, and none of it will hit. Vikings take out a Colossus there. Uh-oh, here comes the flank. Anti-armor has been used as these tanks stay alive. I think Ryung might have just done it in What felt like a game that he was far ahead in and then all of a sudden he was behind, does just manage to push across the map. Astrea, well, there's no hope left for him at this point anymore. Taps out with a GG. And Ryung wins game number 1 here on Babylon. Second map. Ooh, what is this wall? Astrea, Astrea, Astrea. Yeah, this is a very ugly wall. Not a fan of this. So the way that you can actually wall on this map is with a pylon right over here and gate cyber, and you can build the tech a little bit further back. Makes it harder for the Reaper to see. I mean, here, the only way you can put something here, but the Reaper sees at the moment it jumps up. Not a wall that I approve of, let me tell you that much. Absolutely not a wall I approve. In general, it's a difficult map to deal with Reapers already. You have that secondary jumping spot in your natural, of course. You kind of want to wall that with a pylon, but most Protoss builders, you just don't have that many pylons, right? You start with your initial 2 pylons. Ideally, you have the one up here, and then you probably want to form some type of wall in case of a Hellion play or some type of a 3-Rex. It's nice just to have a wall set up, so you can kind of fall back behind that wall. So if you have to build a pylon here, then all of a sudden that walling becomes a lot harder. Some good blocking coming out of Astrea. Blocks it at least for a couple of seconds, as the pylon will go down here in that natural base. And not on the ramp spot, but starting to build a wall here, that's for sure. Marine as a follow-up, once again, really standard play here coming out of Ryung. I would love to see a Reaper into Hellion here though, rather than what we saw last game. I think the Hellion just, especially on this map, is so useful to have in there. Bunker does get constructed. We're waiting to see what Astrea is actually going to throw down for tech here. That's, ooh, Twilight Council once again on the low ground, and this is the spot I was talking about. Astrea just sending this adept across the map. He doesn't give a crap. He's gonna lose another worker for the 2nd time in a row. Loses a worker. I think he got scouted here as well. So this is literally the best case scenario here for Ryung. Gets the scout, gets 1 kill, might get gets 2 kills, might even get 3. Could also just try and get out here with this Reaper, and is actually gonna get out. This is awful. This is the worst case. Did he just try to build another Twilight? I saw that. I did see that. At the same time, this Adept, what have you achieved? Nothing. You achieved nothing, you useless prick. Look at you, Adept. You're a Reaper buddy with the jetpacks that needs 5 kills to kill a worker, killed 2. And you with your powerful glaive weapon. What did you get? Nothing. Oh my god, Reaper comes in, gets another kill. As this is starting to look real bad right now. For Astrea, another kill and a 2nd jump up as well. Oh no, 4 kills on a Reaper. I've had games like this on the ladder where I just decided to leave. 5 kills. Terran practically ahead right now. This is I don't want to say unlosable, but it is difficult to lose this game, alright? It is difficult. It is not easy. I actually would prefer seeing a quick tech lap on here now. Yes. Oh my, Ryung plays such intelligent StarCraft 2. I freaking... I adore it. I really do adore it. 2nd barracks on the way. This way you can easily swap over to a Raven straight away. That's why I would like this. Much more than... ooh, he's gonna get a tank. He's playing it safe. Not a huge fan of that. Not a huge fan of that. I think if you kill 5 workers, the aggression out of Protoss is going to hit so much weaker that you can get away with a faster Raven. That's actually why I liked the skip on the 3rd factory unit and getting that tech lab. But getting a tank seems overly safe in my opinion. Not really necessary. Of course it's unfair because I have the full information. I know that there was a sentry on the way. But on the other hand, Ryung saw no robotics facility. Like he saw no 3rd gateway. He saw no 4th gateway. He should have known that this was going to be a fast triple nexus. Or at least not an all-in basically. And thus the quick tank, I'm not a fan. The 2nd tank, I'm definitely not a fan of. So... my TVP knowledge from the Terran side isn't perfect, but I watched an absolute crap ton of TVPs. Like, this is not my own experience, not like, oh, I believe that 2 tanks is a mistake. But when I watch the best Terran players, when I'm watching your Cures, when I'm watching your Mouth, like these strong theoretical players, Clem as well, whenever they know there's a 3rd base, they always get single tank. But Ryung hasn't gotten that confirmation yet that there is a third base. And that's why he's getting another tank. But this is really just, I kind of want to say poor scouting and a poor understanding of what he saw earlier. He saw no robotics facility. Like, what is this going to be? A no prism blink all in? One tank would be enough against that. Second tank has now been built. That really does delay everything. Oh, another tech lab. All right. You do what you want, Ryung, but I feel like he's giving away a huge part of his lead here by playing overly safe and still not really being in position. Like, how are these Stalkers dealing damage if you have two tanks that should just be in the perfect position? This is not a good hold so far. I'm not happy with this. I really am not. Now, Raven is going to make its way in towards the main base. There's 2 auto turrets that are ready. As there's 100 energy. Astrea needs to be very fast here with the responses. He cannot afford to lose any more workers. Both auto turrets get used at once. And will net him 4 kills, which is something. But I would have preferred seeing them being thrown down individually here. And I know I'm being a little bit critical of Ryung, but I think these are some... yes, so some weird errors here that we're seeing. Continuous tank production behind this, which is an interesting choice. It's a choice that I kind of understand after seeing that last game. If you believe your opponent is a massive robo player, then and you like playing these types of 1-1 tank pushes, you know, the success of the last game probably emboldened you in that case. It's not bad on this map either. Like, you have this type of location, you push forward. Very uncomfortable to defend from here as a Protoss player. I do have to admit that. But you're losing so much momentum, no? Like, if you compare this to a Clem or a Cure or a Maru, most of the time they just go into mines as fast as they can. They start getting on the map. They start doing things. Ryung is more of a timing push player, it feels like, and he's setting up for the timing push. And it's coming in with a double drop. This should deal some damage. Oh my god, recall is just barely available. That's actually kind of a big deal if you do want to use that. I actually think this game is completely over. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't... 27 workers have been killed at this point. And drop is kind of gonna get taken out here, but not completely. Raven with this army. There's 4 tanks moving forward. The army, funnily enough, doesn't even look that big here out of Ryung. His third base is just now floating over. He's going into barracks 4 and 5. It's big chunks of army are moving across the map. I love the Zealot run-by. This is 100% the correct call. Zealot run-bys are almost always the correct call, by the way, in my opinion. So whenever I see a Zealot run-by, I usually say, oh, that looks good. That's smart. That's brilliant. I freaking love this. Astrea is a genius. But in this case, it really is. Like, the moment you're getting tank push like this, you want to win time, you want to maybe get some batteries here, cut off reinforcement with big Zealot orbs. You don't want to send 2-3 Zealots. You want to send like 7-8, you know, big numbers. That is important. I love it. So these Marauders are going to get taken out. Ooh, he's gonna go in once more. He's gonna take out more and more units here. This actually is dealing some serious damage right now. Ryung isn't really making any progress with this push whatsoever. These Zealots are just walking through tank fire as well as the Marines and Marauders. It really feels like Ryung has just been standing around doing nothing for a very long time now. And he's trying to rally Vikings across the map. There's a prism over there. He's trying to get more tanks in this position, and he needs more bio as well. But once again, a big Zealot run-by is going to take out a tank and these 2 Marauders. I think they will die. Yep, here we go. 8 Zealots. Big Zealot run-bys are indeed the answer to this. If you only send 3 or 4 Zealots, they just end up dying to an SCV pool and a quick stim, you know, and the reinforcements always take it out as well. But not like this. This is such beautiful defensive play here out of Astrea. It really is. And now he's bringing those Zealots back. He's getting ready. He's absolutely getting ready here. Uses the Adept to tank a couple of these shots. Takes out a couple of Marines, actually. That was a nice move. You hardly ever see that. So, where's the rest of the Colossi? Oh my god, they weren't in the fight. Are you kidding me, Astrea? I guess it won't matter because Ryung, half of his army was still chilling at home, too afraid to get caught off by another Zealot run-by. This was brilliant. Astrea, I think, survived here. And what's more is that he has a crap ton of gas. Throwing down a Templar Archives, I think would be smart. Actually, not throwing down a Templar Archives is going to be considered a crime against Protoss. Protoss humanity. Against Protossity. He's going for double forge first, but Mate, like 2-3 Archons are gonna help you so much. It's gonna add a second Robo instead. Okay, I respect it. Probably expecting Ghost and says, hey, the time of Archons is over here, Kevin. Why would I get Archons at this point, you idiot? When's the last time you qualified for a GSL? When's the last time you even went to Korea? Like, huh, calm down, Astrea. No need to be upset with me. Good lord. Vikings will take out this Prism as Astrea moves for... I don't think he can attack into this melee. Ryung actually still has a massive army. Ryung is still ahead, and he's going to have a timing here with 3 Ghosts, if he builds them. He does build them. He's a little bit slow with it. A 4 CC going up, and as he moves out, well, honestly, right now, he should really start an Armory and second eBay. Like that. I feel like the Ghosts have started a bit late. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the things that Ryung is doing. I think his early game here was brilliant, but the rest of it, I have not been overly impressed. And that makes me believe that Astrea still has a chance, despite me calling the game twice already so far in favor of Ryung. I think Astrea might still have, you know, have it in him. It's not like Astrea also has a creative mind. Third Robo, that's true creativity. This is just like the noobs, you know. You have the golds and the bronze. You're like, 3 Robos. I just pump disruptors and throw them, and I think it's great. And you tell that to like a diamond or like a Masters 1 player. It's like, no, you're supposed to put 2 Robos. That is the proper way to play. And freaking Astrea with the 3 Robos. Might even add a 4th one or a 5th. You know, he doesn't care. He makes his own rules. He's an innovator. Some people have called Astrea the Steve Jobs of StarCraft 2. And then he steals my brilliant ideas and then pretend, just kidding. He's actually quite creative. He comes up with a lot of cool stuff. He really does. Where's that fort base? It's over here, wasn't it? Yeah. 2-2 has now started. Not quite sure how Ryung went from being up 1-1 against someone without forges to being, well, technically down in upgrade soon. So I think these forges are going to finish their 2-2 before. I'm also surprised we didn't see a 1-1 push. I'm actually kind of surprised with that. Ryung's just kind of playing for that late game here. Just really pretty much gave up his entire momentum that he had. 3 more barracks are on the way. It's a very odd way to play. But he has arrived here now. This is a dream late game setup as well for a Terran, right? You have an insane amount of Vikings. You have a crap ton of Ghosts. Marauder count is solid. You have tanks. I'm not sure if the tanks are good. Anti-armor gets used as well. He's the only player that actually has a separate hotkey for Ravens, I think. That's why he always uses it so far into the late game. Good enough splits coming out of Ryung. Ho, ho, ho. Nothing really gets hit there. Although, Ryung did lose 30 supply. I'm not quite sure where that happened. Because a couple of loose purification novas must have connected in some way. It's 5 bases now for Astrea. Against the 4 of Ryung. Oh, poof! Both of those get sniped before... No, actually one. That does look like a purification nova barely managed to complete. Fusion core is on the way. You have vehicle weapons though over ship weapons. So those liberators will not be getting their +2 anytime soon. Second starport is on the way as well. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. This is the graphitic drive. Boosters. Graphitic boosters. Nice. Fun to watch. 6 gateways coming in. I like observer speed. Powerful upgrade. He also has... Oh, he has everything. No, wait, it just finished. No, he does have everything. All the Robo Bay upgrades. Well, the thought is we have a bit of an engagement. This is a... Where's the rest of his army? Of Ryung's army, that is. This is it? No shot. No, yes shot. Oh, it's gonna try and take out every single disruptor. Has good splits as well. Has not started 3-3 quite yet, though. Lots of supply just in air units and in tanks and in things that aren't really doing much for him. Disruptor could shoot, but it's not going to. Instead will die. I mean, it wouldn't have finished the shot, but it's always nice to start something, even if you don't finish it. I always say that starting is half the job. Then finishing is the other half. I'm very good at the first half of the job, let me tell you that. Very, very good. Raven comes back home. Throws on an auto turret. We'll take out 1 DT. Ooh, almost gets 2 DTs. This guy is still gonna go ham though. 3 HP remaining. At the same time, we have Astrea moving forward. Purification of us will take out that tank. We'll take out 2 Marauders as well. I think Astrea has actually done it. This DT has been cleaned up right now in the main base. Sensor tower gets blasted by 12 charge lots. That's a one way to go. Not a very pleasant one. Raven finally does go down 15 minutes into the game as Purification of us continue hitting this army. And I think that Ryung is not just in a world of trouble. I think he's actually fairly dead here. Vikings are going to end up landing. Will get hit by a Purification Nova immediately. 4 base against 6. More disruptors being rallied as the triple robo never stop pumping, and Astrea ties up the series with a 1-1 score. Just now I was thinking, it's like pretty freaking crazy that the GSL qualifiers just have best of 3 all around. Like the qualifier match not being a best of 5 is just... it feels really sick to me for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just... I feel like matches that are this important, like in Europe, whenever we have those qualifiers for the regionals, the qualifying match is always best of 5. It feels more fair, or it feels more likely that the better player wins in that case, I guess. It always felt really comfortable to play those for me if you're playing against the worst player. And it you know, there's a higher chance that the better player tends to win in longer series. It just seems weird to me. Then again, a lot of the things in the GSL seem pretty odd to me, and that tournament has been around for 13 years already, so maybe need to take a good look in the mirror. Maybe I'm the one to blame. To me, it just feels like best of 3s all the way. I'd be pissed about that, let me tell you that. I would not be happy with that. Not one bit. Alright, what are we watching? We're taking a look at over here. It's going to be Reapers being sent out. Or Reapers, single Reaper once again with an SCV scout. Ryung, I mean, did not lose that last game because of the early game. Really just because of that kind of mid-game follow-up. That was the true issue here. He's never going to get an early game like the last game though, let's face it. He got 5 worker kills with the Reaper. Got full scouting info. Saw the Twilight Council. Saw the lack of a robotics facility. I'm still not... I have not recovered yet, you know? I haven't. I'm just thinking of it. I'm like, well, this is... it should not be possible to lose it. I like the moves here that he's making. It's just hiding his Reaper for a little bit and then going in by the time that usually an Adept would be shading across the map. Once again, Astrea is going to go for that same move. This time the second Adept is in time, though. I don't think this Reaper is going to get any important information because it's going to be really difficult. Like, he'll need to bop over this wall with a grenade bounce to get in the main base. A lot of Terrans are not comfortable doing that. They're bad at it as well. I'm not sure how you can be bad at that. Just, I mean, you look at the wall and you figure out where to throw the grenade. This seems like something that's definitely practicable, but a lot of Terrans don't feel comfortable doing that at all. Jan and Clem are the 2 players. Maru, that are just really solid at that. Once again, top players, you know, doing top player things. Does not quite surprise me. Same opener 3 times in a row for Astrea, and same opener pretty much 3 times in a row here for Ryung as well, who's opening up with no Hellion, 2 mines. This is like watching 2 AIs that just have 1 build order go up against each other, and then for some reason there's different outcomes. That's really weird. It actually is really weird. It's going to be the triple mine drop, just like in game number 1. I mean, it dealt some fantastic damage. Even in game number 1, by the way, thinking back of that game, it's like, well, was that really so great? But I mean, was that really so great for Ryung, you know? He dealt so much damage with the mine drop and then still really struggled. It felt like he was behind at times. It's going to be tech lab here. I mean, the third base has been scouted at this point, so it really should be... I just want to see single tank into faster mines here out of Ryung. If there's anything that I want to see this time, it has to be that. Now, I know mines aren't necessarily great against Colossi, but they are really good against charge lots. And so far, Astrea has been playing with massive amounts of charge lots every single game. Every single game. This barracks is really late, by the way. Like, really, really delayed. I think that's a mistake. more so than a decision. Also have a major supply block here. So SCVs have been in there for quite a while. Mines are not getting damage like they did in game number 1. Reaper did not get the damage like he got in game number 1. That means that a medevac and 3 mines will go down for the small price of 3 probes. This is a trade that as a Protoss player, you take any day of the week. You have so much time right now on your hands. Like, you just scouted that the barracks hasn't even landed yet. Hell, the barracks hasn't even finished yet. So you have at least 100 seconds, probably more like 110, 120, before stim finishes. You don't have to be afraid of anything before that timing. That's an entire 2 minutes. It's like 7... That's the 7-minute and 10-second mark or so. That's when I think Ryung is going to hit. Now, if you're Astrea and you know this, you can optimize for that timing. And that's what StarCraft really is all about. It's getting information, knowing when the first possible threat is going to be, and then optimizing for that initial timing. In PvT, that is so important. So I'm expecting here pure pro production till whatever worker count Astrea wants, a trickle of gateways, so continuously seeing gateways being added in rather than what you usually see is like the 6 gateways at once. That's what you do when you do a big probe cut and then produce gates. That's not necessary here. So yeah, we're seeing constant pro production. I'd love to see that thermal lens as well. You can still get it. And then yes, the trickle of gateways. 2 gateways here, 2 extra gateways over in this particular location. And I think that Astrea wants to hold this with 60 workers. He's actually going to go a little bit higher even. That surprises me. I thought really just 60 would be good enough. Go up to 8, 9, maybe 10 gateways. Get a prism after those 2 colossi again. And once again, kind of rinse and repeat what he's been doing so far in this series. Because I like the game plan. I think the game plan is freaking good. So far, the openers have been the real issue here for Astrea. Beautiful vision, by the way. Can we just... Oh my god. Observer in the corner. Yeah, there's Adept that was on the bottom side is now moving back. Is actually going to miss it as a result. That is fairly frustrating. That means that the warning of this double drop is going to be a little bit... No, he finds it? How did you do that? These 2 medevacs were going to go behind to try and catch these stalkers. Did you see that? Kind of the... This movement was weird. These observer positions are also odd, by the way. They're really kind of outside of the box of what we'd usually see. Interesting. Difficult to spot here for Ryung, that's for sure. Astrea in a great spot here. Really, really in a great spot. For whatever reason, Ryung is hitting even later than I thought he did. He did not quite manage to hit tight, you know, on the money with that stim and combat shield finishing. Here's a lot of sentries as well. Astrea does need to be a little bit careful. It's going to be an anti-armor missile for starters. No interference matrix. Good force fields. At least good enough. Lots of marines already going down. This is looking so bad for Ryung, honestly. He's down 30 supply. I don't want to call a game, but this looks freaking bad. No? This is actual garbage tier for him. This is a 2-base all-in. He needs to pull the boys now. You can't play with a third here, mate. He has so much energy on this CC as well. Can't throw down these mules. I'm not quite sure what he's saving them for. We want as much money as we can. I mean, this is a boy pool moment, if I've ever seen one. It's gonna wait for 2 interference matrices. I think that X turns into a C there. Yeah, the boys have been pulled. I just don't feel this at all. You know that? I just don't feel this at all. Raven's trying to get in there. Astrea knows though. Astrea knows. Needs to get force fields ideally. He's not quite getting them. Anti-armor as the first one. This is a good setup for a fight for Ryung, honestly. Like, this is as good as it's gonna get, but oh my god. Zealot flank coming in. Zealots everywhere. This is not even close. Get out of here, says Astrea as the young, talented, smart, brilliant American is going to qualify for the GSL. Very impressive stuff. Taking out Ryung with a 2-1 score here in the winner's match. Had a tough bracket as well. Dark into Ryung. I do not envy that bracket at all. And he proves that he can fight with the best. Curious to see what his performance is going to be in the actual tournament, which, by the way, will be starting, well, by the time that this video is live, probably in a couple of days, actually. maybe 3 or 4 days from this point on out. Be sure to check that out. GSL, of course, has been kept alive with the help of its many Patreons. I bet many of you that are watching this video are also Patreon. So if you're not, be sure to check it out. Patreon.com/GSL gives you all those replays as well. They upload immediately at the end of the day, which is super cool for content creators like me. But also if you're just a fan of StarCraft and you want to just have a more in-depth look at these games, you know, see what's happening at the top of the Korean scene. So yeah. That's going to be it for me today. I hope you did all enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.